Last Wednesday on the Suncoast View, I did my my best cookies and bars that you can buy from different bakeries and stores in town. Today I'm going to make my best recipe for oatmeal raspberry bars. We're going to use a little guava jelly in there. This is so simple to make, but every year, so many of my friends ask me to make it, even including pastry chefs. They're like, "You're going to make those bars?" I originally got the recipe from the Colony Beach and Tennis Resort way back when, and I love making these. Most important is to use really good butter and great brown sugar. I'm going to show you some other things that you can use instead or mix in. So stay with me. It's the infamous raspberry guava bars today. So let's get into the raspberry bars. I have 2 sticks of salted butter. Now the reason I'm using salted butter is so I don't have to add additional salt. Now we're going to add some brown sugar, light brown sugar. So I double this recipe, so I have 2 sticks of butter and 2 cups of brown sugar. And we're just going to give it a quick mix to blend the butter and the brown sugar together. And I know it gets noisy, okay? So there, that was good enough. So we have a good blend. And you know, make sure when you're baking, you really want to make sure that you scrape down all the sides. Any pieces of butter, like there's a little piece there, we can just use the spatula to catch that. But we want to make sure the butter is soft. Don't put the butter in the microwave. Just put it on the counter for about an hour. But if the weather is really humid, it'll only take about 20 minutes to soften up there. So I'm gonna not waste any more time, and I'm going to put this over here and I'll scrape it down on commercial break. So what we want to do now is we have a perfect blend of butter and sugar. Really simple, right? This is just going to go so easy. Next, we're going to add our all-purpose flour, and we're going to add baking powder. I mean, seriously, easy, right? So here goes our baking powder, and that will give it a slight rise but also crisp around the edges. So we're going to mix this in a little bit, and then we have to use our hands. So I just scrub my hands down since it's National Hand Washing Week, and now we'll put the oatmeal in. I use regular oatmeal, not quick oats. When I'm making oatmeal raisin cookies, I usually use a combination of both quick and regular cooking oats. But for these bars, I definitely want the bigger cut oatmeal. So we're going to make sure that it's blended in really well. Spray a pan, I prefer a glass pan for these, with some PAM, some food release spray. And what we're going to do is take this crumble that we've made and we're going to put it in the pan, saving 1/3 for the topping. So we're going to get it in the pan, and it's nice and crumbly. I mean, this topping is really good on different tarts and things like that. So when I come back, let's mix up the jellies and get that spread and finish this off. Oven's at 350 and it's getting ready for goodness in just a few minutes. So now I've made these enough that I don't have to really measure, but basically the filling is going to surprise you because it's not that much. You don't want to get this too goopy with jam, because what will happen is it will just get sticky and hard. So we're going to take about 1/3 cup of guava jelly, and you can get that at any grocery store nowadays. And then we're going to take a very good quality raspberry preserves with the seeds. So we'll give that a stir, equal each. And that looks good. And there might be just a little bit more I can get out of this jar since we're almost at the end, so I'll grab that. Okay, so now we're going to take this mixture. How easy is this, right? And my son just said to me this morning, "You know, Mom, as good as those bars are, maybe you should try it with something like sour cherry preserve or apricot preserve," which is a great idea, because you can be a little bit creative. But I have to tell you, between the tartness of the guava and the sweetness of the raspberry, this just works really, really well. So you're going to spread it just delicately. You can see where I kind of pulled a little bit of that crust up, okay? And just for the sake of the TV, so you can see how we want it, we're just going to get that to the corners, but barely, so it's not a thick filling, okay? So we'll just get that down there and a little bit on the side. Now we're going to get to the topping. So remember, we saved about 1/3 of this crumble topping. Now we'll go right on there. The oven's ready to go at 350 degrees. So I'm going to give this like a little pat down. And then this will bake, oh, probably for about 50 minutes, but watch it depending on your oven. You'll be able to tell, you'll get that nice dark brown from the brown sugar. Now, a couple other tips for this holiday season. If you're in a rush and you have to go to a party, a great idea, they sell these over at the Fresh Market. These little tart shells, they're like a shortbread tart. Get a jar of the cherry filling and get a really good jar of quality cherry filling. Don't use the canned. I prefer something like that. Top it with whipped cream. You can even top it with toasted coconut, or if you really want to go out on a lark and you love chocolate, melt a little chocolate down, like a 60% dark chocolate, and just drizzle that on the top as well. It is delicious. They'll never know that you didn't make it homemade. So between the raspberry bars and those tarts, you have it going on. But I'll be back to give Josh just a little taste in a few minutes.
Oatmeal raspberry bars.
You got it. It has
Oh
a little bit of guava jelly in it, so I'm going to give you one. Simple ingredients, Josh. Really good quality butter, oatmeal, brown sugar, and it just makes the best holiday treat. I have all these chefs in town that ask me, will I please make them every year? So I do. I go to all my little favorite restaurants and drop
Just
off
holding this looks amazing. I can only imagine what...
Go ahead. Try it. While you chew for a minute, I'm going to also remind people that I also showed them just getting some really good ingredients, like a cherry tart filling, these little shortcake tarts, and a little whipped cream on top. Maybe shaved chocolate makes another simple dessert that you can bring to a holiday party. So lots of good, simple ideas.
This is terrific.
And you can make it at home now, right?
And I'm challenged sometimes, but it's probably a very easy recipe. Of course, we can get this on the mysuncoast.com website, and you go to the dining page.